The Bobbsey Twins by Laura Lee Hope. The Bobbsey Twins, or Merry Days Indoors and Out. Chapter 14, Christmas. As the time for Christmas drew shorter, all of the Bobbsey children wondered what Santa Claus would bring them, and what they would receive from their relatives at a distance. Freddie and Flossie had made out long lists of the things they hoped to get. Freddie wished a fireman's suit with a real trumpet, a railroad track with a locomotive that could go, and some building blocks and picture books. Flossie craved more dolls and dolls' dresses, a real trunk with a lock, fancy slippers, a pair of rubber boots, and some big card games. "All I want is a set of furs," said Nan, not once but many times. "A beautiful brown set, just like Mama's. And all I want is some good storybooks, some games, a new pocket knife, a big wagon, and some money," said Bert. "Mercy, you don't want much, Bert," cried Nan. "How much money? $1,000? "I want money too," piped in Freddie. "Want to start a bank account just like Papa's." By dint of hard saving, Bert and Nan had accumulated $2.10 between them, while Freddie and Flossie had each 35 cents. There was a wonderful lot of planning between the twins, and all put their money together to buy Papa and Mama and Dinah and Sam some Christmas presents. Freddie and Flossie had not yet purchased the cologne and handkerchief before mentioned, and now it was decided to get Mr. Bobbsey a new cravat, Mrs. Bobbsey a flower in a pot, Dinah a fancy apron, and Sam a pair of gloves. Nan and Bert made the purchases which, after being duly inspected by all, were hidden away in the Garis storeroom. As the time for Christmas came on, Flossie and Freddie grew very anxious, wanting to know if Santa Claus would be sure to come. Flossie inspected the chimney several times. "It's a dreadfully small place and very dirty," said she. "I am afraid Santa Claus won't be able to get down with a very big load, and some of his things will get all mussed up." "Santa Claus can spirit himself wherever he wants to, dear," said Mrs. Bobbsey, with a quiet smile. "What do you mean by spirit himself, Mama?" "Never mind now, Flossie. You'll understand that when you grow older." "Does Mama mean a ghost?" asked Flossie later on of Nan. "No, Flossie. She means the part of a person that lives but can't be seen." "Oh, I know," cried the child, brightening. "It's just like when a person is good. Then they say it's the spirit of goodness within him. I guess it's the good spirit of Santa Claus that can't be seen, but we can feel it, can't we? And that's what's best." On the day before Christmas, the sitting room door was closed and locked, so that none of the children might enter the room. Freddie was very anxious to look through the keyhole, but Bert told him that wouldn't be fair, so he stayed away. "We are to hang up our stockings tonight," said Nan, "and Mama says we must go to bed early, too." "That's to give Santa Claus a chance to get around," said Freddie. "Papa said so. He said Santa Claus had his hands more than full with so many boys and girls all over the world to take care of. "Santa Claus must be a twin, just like you and me," said Flossie. "Maybe he's a twin 100 times over." At this, Freddie roared. "What a funny twin that would be, with each one having the same name." The stockings were hung up with great care, and Freddie and Flossie made up their minds to stay awake and watch Santa Claus at his work. "Won't say a word when he comes," said the little boy. "Just peek out at him from under the covers." But alas, long before Santa Claus paid his visit that Christmas Eve, both Freddie and Flossie were in dreamland, and so were Bert and Nan. It was Flossie who was the first awake in the morning. For the moment after she opened her eyes and sat up, she could not remember why she had awakened thus early. But it was for some reason, she was sure of that. "Merry Christmas!" she burst out all at once, and the cry awoke Freddie. "Merry Christmas!" he repeated. "Merry Christmas, everybody!" he roared out at the top of his lungs. The last call awoke Nan and Bert, and before long all were scrambling out to see what the stockings might contain. "Oh, I've got a doll!" shrieked Flossie, and brought forth a wonderful affair of paper. "I have a jumping jack," came from Freddie, and he began to work the toy up and down in a most comical fashion. There was some small gift for everybody, and several apples and oranges besides, and quantities of nuts in the stockings. "We must get the presents for the others," whispered Nan to Bert and the smaller twins, and soon all were dressed and bringing the things down from the storeroom. It was a happy party that gathered in the dining room. "Merry Christmas," said everybody to everybody else. And then Mr. Bobbsey, who was in the sitting room, blew a horn and opened the folding doors. There, on a large side stand, rested a beautiful Christmas tree, loaded down with pretty ornaments and apples and candies, and with many prettily colored candles. Around the bottom of the tree were 4 heaps of presents, one for each of the children. "Oh, look at that big doll!" screamed Flossie, and caught the present up in her arms and kissed it. "And look at my fireman's suit!" roared Freddie, and then, seeing a trumpet, he took it up and bellowed, "Bring up the engine! Play away lively there!" just like a real fireman. Bert had his books and other things, and under them was hidden a real bank book, showing that there had been deposited to his credit $10 in the Lakeport Savings Bank. Nan had a similar bank book, and of these the twins were very, very proud. Bert felt as if he was truly getting to be quite a businessman. "Oh, oh!" cried Nan, as she opened a big box that was at the bottom of her pile of presents, and then the tears of joy stood in her eyes as she brought forth the hoped-for set of furs. They were beautiful, and so soft, she could not resist brushing them against her cheek over and over again. "Oh, Mama, I think they are too lovely for anything," she said, rushing up and kissing her parent. "I am sure no girl ever had such a nice set of furs before." "You must try to keep them nice, Nan," answered the mother. "I shall take the very best of care of them," said Nan, and my readers may be sure that she did. "And now we have something for you, too," said Bert, and brought out the various articles. Flossie gave their mama her present, and Freddie gave Papa what was coming to him. Then Nan gave Dinah the fancy apron, and Bert took Sam the new gloves. "Well, this is truly a surprise," cried Mr. Bobbsey, as he inspected the cravat. "It is just what I need." "And this flower is beautiful," said Mrs. Bobbsey, as she smelt of the potted plant. "It will bloom a long while, I'm sure." Dinah was tickled over the apron, and Sam with his gloves. "Yo' chillun am the sweetest in de world," said the cook. "Dem gloves am de very ting I need to keep my hands warm," came from Sam. It was fully an hour before the children felt like sitting down to breakfast. Before they began the repast, Mr. Bobbsey brought forth the family Bible and read the wonderful story of Christ's birth to them, and asked the blessing. All were almost too excited to eat. After breakfast, all must go out and show their presents to their friends and see what the friends had received. It was truly a happy time. Then all went coasting until lunch. "The expressman is coming," cried Bert a little later, and sure enough he drove up to the Bobbsey house with 2 boxes. One was from their uncle, Daniel Bobbsey, who lived at Meadowbrook, and the other from their Uncle William Minturn, who lived at Ocean Cliff. "More presents!" cried Nan, and she was right. Uncles and aunts had sent each something, and the twins were made happier than ever. "Oh, but Christmas is just the best day in the whole year," said Bert that evening, after the eventful day was over. "Wish Christmas would come every week," said Freddie. "Wouldn't it be beautiful?" "If it did, I'm afraid the presents wouldn't reach," said Mrs. Bobbsey, and then took him and Flossie off to bed.